We're going to talk to you guys about how to rebuild your credit after a charge off. Okay. How does this affect your credit? And we're going to break down what a charge off is as well. Okay. So, first things first, many of you all may know what a charge off is, but let's just go ahead and just make sure that you do. So, first off, what is a charge off? Okay. So, a charge off is when a financial institution, a bank, or credit union, they essentially close your account. This normally happens either 3 to 4 months on if you have like a repossession. So if this is an auto loan, if you have a mortgage loan, it technically isn't a charge off because they're going to take that into pre-foreclosure, then foreclosure, and then you're going to typically have it where it's installment loans that are going to be like either a personal loan or if there's some type of like mainly like revolving types of cards as well too, so like a department store credit card or of course a traditional credit card. Okay. And if you haven't made any payments on that, usually it's 6 consecutive missed payments, then that's when they're going to charge off the balance. Okay. I've even seen people where they made some payments and then were late on some payments and then made a payment arrangement and then they didn't pay on the payment arrangement. Then that ended up becoming a charge off as well. Okay. So the short version is that's debt that they no longer have interest. Well, not would say interest in collecting, but that's debt that they essentially saying, hey, listen, we're not even going to try to collect this, but it's still going to be on your credit report. Okay. Now, here's the thing. A charge off doesn't mean that the debt is gone. Okay. It just means that the lender, they gave up in collecting it, but that does not mean that you don't owe it. Okay. You still have the statute of limitations. Every state is different, but most states are going to have about a 7 to 10 year rule in which you are legally liable for that debt. Now, whether you want to pay that debt or not, that's up to you. But we're going to talk about how it affects you and how to get around that as well too. Okay. So a couple things that you got to know is number one is that the balance is still owed. Okay. So again, whether you decide to pay it or not, that's going to be up to you. Okay. So balance is still owed. Okay. Now, why is this important? This is important because if you want to build a relationship with a bank in the future, most people are using about the same banks. They're going to Chase, they're going to Bank of America. Many people have access to Navy Federal. Some people have access to Truist. Some people have access to Key Bank. And some of these banks aren't even in your area. Okay. Wells Fargo, and the list goes on. But for the most part, it's really about 7 to 10 banks that's doing most of the lending. They're doing most of the auto loans. They're doing most of the mortgage loans. So most of the things that you guys are seeing out there is really with the same banks. Okay. So keep that in mind if you want to build that relationship, with them. And speaking of relationships, okay. Now I talk about these types of things inside of my free credit guide. Okay. So if you're watching this right now on your TVs, go ahead and take out your cell phone and scan the QR code that's right here under me. And then, of course, if you are on your phone or tablet, then you can go ahead and text the word guide, that's GUIDE, to the phone number 708-346-5613. So you guys can get my free credit guide today. Okay. But we talk about the importance of building relationships because that's what this is all about. Unless you want to get in the business, and I don't recommend that you do, of borrowing money, not paying it back, and then struggling to rebuild these relationships every single time that you want to do like borrow money. If you want to buy a home, if you want to get a car, again, these banks are not going to forget this type of stuff. Okay. So the balance is still owed and it's going to stay on your credit report for 7 years. Okay. Now, can you dispute this? You most definitely can dispute a charge off. Okay. There's nothing wrong with disputing a charge off. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say some things that a lot of people won't say. Number one is that, yes, people dispute things that are accurate. Let me say that again. People dispute things that are accurate because they think that dispute means delete. Not necessarily think that dispute means delete, but they hope it gets deleted. Let's be honest. Okay. But there are times where the dates are incorrect, the balances are incorrect. So again, that makes it where there is a valid reason to dispute. I've seen people get charge offs removed that were accurate. I've seen people get charge offs removed that were inaccurate. And the opposite is also true too. I've seen people not get certain things removed off their credit report, specifically a charge off, whether it was accurate or not. So I like to set expectations. Dispute does not mean delete, it means open up an investigation. And based on what you find during that investigation, if you think it's best or if it's inaccurate, then it will be removed or it will be updated or no changes will be made at all. Okay. I got some notes here so you guys will be seeing me looking over here to make sure I stay on task. Okay. So now it's going to remain on your credit report. But one thing you got to understand is that anything that's on your credit report that is closed, positive or negative, any account that's closed that's positive or negative is going to have a lower value as it gets to the 7 year mark. So if you got a charge off that happened last year, it's heavier than a charge off that happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and of course 7 years ago. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next is going to be the next thing is going to be okay. I went over dispute. The next thing is going to be that banks have internal systems. Okay, banks have internal. Oh, spelled that wrong. All right, banks have internal systems. Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means that all of these banks, not all of them, but many of them are going to have a lot of the same type of systems. Okay. So, like, for example, in the mortgage industry, okay, internal, there we go. All right. So now in the mortgage industry, they use something called Fraud Guard. Okay. Fraud Guard can see all public record data that's not on your credit report. So if you get student loans removed from your credit report, banks can still see it. If you get a bankruptcy removed from your credit report, banks can still see it. That's no. So again, they have these different types of platforms and internal systems where they can still see things that may be removed off of your credit report. Okay. Then let's go into the next piece. I kind of touched on this earlier, but this goes into the relationship. Okay. Let's say, for example, you have a charge off with Bank of America, right? You say, okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it. And you can build around it. I do want to make sure I make that clear. You can build around any negative item on your credit report. We talk about this inside of our 850 Club Elite all the time, where we show people that's inside of our community how to build around their negative items. How many accounts should they add? How many credit builders should they have? Should they pay certain things off? So just certain things to kind of remember as well too. But when you have that relationship with this bank, that is key, because when you're looking to get an auto loan, when you're looking to get a refinance loan, when you're looking to get a home, when you're looking to get a credit card, unless you want to be like those people, like I mentioned earlier, where they say, listen, I'm just going to borrow money, never pay it back, and I'm going to teach my kids and my family how to do the same exact thing. You don't want to do that, because what ends up happening is you'll find yourself limited to the amount of banks that you have access to. This is why, if you've had something negative on your credit report and you got it removed, now your credit score has gone up. You're in the sixes, you're in the sevens, whatever. Now you go apply, you get denied, and you're trying to figure out why. That's why you got denied, because you never made this relationship whole. Okay. Now, do you have to make the relationship whole? Not necessarily, but you either have to pay it with two things. You can either pay it with money, obviously, who doesn't want money especially if you owe a bank, or you have to pay with time. Okay. So if you don't pay the bank, you have to pay with time. What does that mean? That means if you had a charge off, some banks won't give you another opportunity until 2 years later, 3 years later. They have to see that you have changed. They have to see that someone else gave you another opportunity, because it wasn't going to be them. And then you didn't squander that opportunity. You paid things on time and you rebuilt, you made another relationship. And they say, okay, we trust this person again. Okay. So that's what you want to focus on there. Now, the next thing is going to be, how do you build around a charge off? Okay. Well, I'm going to show you two ways. Okay. Way number one is going to be, we're going to talk about building your credit if the charge off is there. And then we're going to talk about ways to actually pay the charge off. Okay. So, how do you build your credit when something like that happens? Okay. So, now we're going to talk about building the score. Okay. So, here's the thing, there's a lot of ways that you can do it. The biggest thing is going to be positive activity. Okay. It's not just credit reports and the credit score algorithm, but banks like to see that you have positive activity as well. What is positive activity? We're talking about on-time payments, okay? On-time payments, auto pay, right? So you can make sure that those on-time payments are there. Multiple accounts with those payments as well too, not going over your limits on the credit cards, not being late. Okay. So, again, all of those things are going to be positive activity. All right. Then the next thing is going to be this kind of ties into it. You have to have positive accounts. Now, what's a positive account? Well, any account that has positive activity is going to be a positive account. Okay. But you have to have multiple accounts. Okay. So, I would say a good number is at least about 2 to 3 accounts. Okay. Now these could be any types of accounts. This can be reporting your rental history to your credit report. This can be getting a certain amount of credit builders. This can be getting a credit card. Or you may have already had these accounts and you just got to maximize on those accounts. Typically, when people have a charge off, that means other things are not getting paid as well. And then it's more difficult because they don't know what accounts they will be able to get approved for. If you have had a charge off in the past, whether it was yesterday, last month, last year, whenever, and you've been trying to rebuild your credit, but you've been struggling, no one will give you a chance. You apply, you get denied. Listen, this is why I have my free credit guide. Okay. Listen, you are not by yourself. You can download this. Listen, scan the QR code right up under me. You can download this free credit guide today on any device. If you're on your phone or tablet, you can text guide to the number that you see at the bottom of the screen. That's how you'll be able to get that. Okay. So now that's what you need. You need at least 2 to 3 positive accounts. Okay. Now, can all 3 of them be credit cards? Yes, they can. Can all 3 of them be credit builders? I don't recommend any more than about 2 credit builders, to be honest with you. Can all 3 of these be other accounts? Like if you just got an auto loan, if you just got a personal loan, the answer is yes. Okay. That's how you do that. All right. And then you just keep making those payments on time and you'll be just fine. Now, let's go into how you can actually pay them. Now, I know some people are like, Calvin, I'm not trying to pay these people, but here, I want you guys to hear me out. I want you guys to hear me out on this because what if you wanted to pay the charge off? I'm going to give you guys some benefits of doing this. I know a lot of people in this industry, they don't want you to pay your debts. They come up with all these fictitious reasons about why you shouldn't pay somebody. Let me tell you something. You borrow the money from the bank. Now, you're going to want to borrow money bank from you're going to want to borrow money from the bank at some point again in your life, okay? Unless you're paying cash for your house, unless you're paying cash for your business. That's the whole point of us being in America, to take advantage of all these American benefits. And that's the fact that you can literally have a $500 credit card and get approved for hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? A lot of countries don't do that. So this is why, if you want to. Now, why would you want to pay a charge off? Here's why. If your credit score is stuck. So if your credit score is stuck, this is one of the reasons why. Because you have a charge off on your credit report. Here, I'm going to go deeper than that. You paid somebody to send off dispute letters on your behalf. You pay them every single month, and you're trying to get this charged off. You're trying to get this charge off removed from your credit report. Some of you all haven't added up the money of how much you've been paying this credit repair company that didn't set your expectations right. They said, oh, well, listen, we're just going to keep on sending these letters. They are 6 letters in. They are 12 letters in. They are 18 letters in, and you're still paying them. Some of you all have paid more to the credit repair company than what you would have paid if you would have paid the charge off. Some of you all have paid more to the credit repair company, and compared to half, you could have paid double because you can do a settlement with many of these charge offs. That's why that matters. So if your credit score is stuck, you can make an arrangement. What kind of arrangements can you make? Okay, so the first type of arrangement that you can make is what we call a settlement. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Well, Calvin, someone told me. Let me pause. Let me pause real quick when people say things like someone told me. Now, I am a true believer that most people want to help other people. I'm a true believer that most people want to give you the right information. Here's the problem. Some people have wrong information, and therefore they'll give you wrong information. Okay. So again, What I mean by that is sometimes people say, well, I heard a settlement is bad. How is a settlement bad? Well, because a settlement shows up on my credit report. No one cares about a settlement showing up on your credit report. I am not just some random guy giving you credit tips. I'm not some random guy giving you 2,300 videos of just random credit advice. I sold cars for 6 years. I'm a licensed real estate agent. I've sold like hundreds of homes locally and helped thousands of people nationwide go into homeownership and so many other things. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm saying is that here, this will not slow you down. Lenders do not care about settlements. When you go to the dealership, they don't care about a settlement. There's only one person that cares about a settlement, and that's you. You don't have to worry about that. No one cares. Here's another thing, another way of looking at a settlement. Do you think that if you have a charge off that's on your credit report, and now you have it's been a few years that have passed, and now you want to build a relationship with another bank, or you want to borrow money, you want to get approved for a loan, or whatever that is, you want to get a high limit credit card, whatever that is. And I'm not saying that you're going to get denied, but if you do get denied, or before you even get a decision, let's just switch the roles. If you were the bank, would you approve the person that settled the account, or would you approve the person that didn't pay the bank at all? Exactly. So the reason why many of you all keep getting denied is because you're not thinking like a bank. You have to start thinking like a bank. Start thinking like someone that's going to let you borrow the money. The reason why some of you all are constantly getting denied is because you won't do a settlement. You're trying to figure out, man, why won't my score go up? Because of this. You keep ignoring it. Now, you can build around it, but if you're not doing it properly, then you have to do this, or you have to get a better strategy. Okay. So, what I love about settlements is that a lot of these banks, they'll settle for like 50%. I'll make that a little bit bigger here. So they'll settle for like 50% or about, 70%. So again, but you won't know because you won't call them. It costs $0 to pick up the phone and say, "Can we work something out? I know I owe you 4,000. Can I pay 1,000? I know I, owe you 4,000. Can I get on a payment plan?" You have to try. It costs nothing to try. Somebody put in the comments, it costs nothing to try. That's if you care. Now I know a lot of you all watching don't care. I get it. We're gonna move on. Okay. So now another reason. Oh, this is very important. Number 3. If you don't write down, listen. If you don't write down anything that I've said, if you don't scan the QR code right here and download this free credit guide, then you need to write this down right here. And that's going to be number 3. Okay. So now we already talked about credit score stuck. We already talked about settlement as well, too. Okay. So now number 3 is going to be because the utilization. Now, some of you guys, y'all know what utilization is, right? That's the second largest factor of what makes your credit score. For those who don't know, 30% of what makes your credit score comes from what they call credit usage. Okay. Credit usage comes from utilization. Utilization is calculated by the balances divided by the limits on your revolving credit cards. 70% of charge offs are credit cards. Okay. Which means you didn't pay them, you didn't want to pay them, you walked away, you forget, you just moved on. Okay. The reason why your credit score is stuck is because you got a credit card that's got a $3,000 limit. I'm just throwing a number out there, whatever that number is. I'm sorry, a $3,000 balance, right? And it's just charged off. Okay. And it's charged off. Okay. Here's the problem. Because you keep listening to people that's giving you bad advice, you say, you know what? I got $1,000. I'm going to pay somebody in the credit repair industry $1,000 or $500, whatever, to make this go away. But you know what's the crazy part is? We tell ourselves that just because something got removed off of our credit, that the problem has gone away. The problem did not go away. No, listen, you are still in their database. That goes into number 4. You are in their database. Okay. That means if you owe Bank of America money and you didn't pay them that money, you are in their database as the person that never paid them the money. Okay. So I would rather you take that extra money and work out a payment plan. I would rather you take that extra money and work out a settlement. Now, a lot of people will tell you don't pay some people. It's a lot of other bad decisions people like that make too. Okay. But again, you want to get it in the habit of being done with people. One of the things that's holding you back from home ownership, you say you want to be a homeowner. You say you want to you want to own rental properties. You say you want to get a newer car. You say you want to lower your car payment. You say you want to increase your credit score. You say all these things, but then you're not paying the banks. You have to pay the banks. No one wants to pay them, but we can't borrow the money, ask to borrow more money, try to build other relationships, and not even try. Now, does that mean that you have to do a settlement? No, you could build around it, but I'm setting your expectation. This is one of those reasons why. And you know what people do? They say, well, I'm just gonna try to get it removed. That's fine. You could try to do that too. But you could also put the extra money towards this. I've seen people owe $4,000 and work out a settlement where it's $1,500, $2,000, or a payment plan of just a couple payments. So you got to at least try. It costs nothing to try. All right. So you got that paying the charge offs. We went over that. Let me make sure I check my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything as well too. But like I said, guys, each of those options is going to have pros and cons here as well. All right. And I also forgot to mention you can rebuild with some secured credit cards as well too. But listen, this is why we talk about this type of stuff all the time inside of my private community, because I've seen over 10,000 credit reports. There's nothing I haven't seen. That's why I know what strategy is going to work best. When you try to skip these steps, it's not going to work out for you. But let me show you guys something here real quick. Let me show you guys this real quick. Listen, if you're serious about your credit goals, I want to show you what serious people look like, because some of you guys don't know what serious people look like. Let me show you what serious people look like. These are serious people right here. Okay. This is just a snapshot of what's going on in the 850 Club Elite. Let me show you something right here. This is a guy named Marcus Morris. He said, listen, I want to get my pre-approval letter. He joined the 850 Club Elite so he can get qualified for a home. Did y'all hear that? So all my people that's watching this right now that want to buy a home one day, listen, this is proof that we just showed somebody how to do this. Okay. Then not only that, so not only are people coming in with a goal and learning how to accomplish that goal, right? But they're around people that's celebrating them and the goal that they just accomplished. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna put the QR code down here at the bottom for people that want to take this to another level. All right. So either way, then we have people right here. This guy right here, he joined the 850 Club Elite so he can lower his car payment. So he joined the 850 Club Elite. We told him exactly what he needed to do. Now his car payment is going to go from $948 to $814. His interest rate can go from 18% to 9%. We cut interest rates in half here at 850 Club. I'm not just somebody giving you videos. Don't get me wrong. The videos will always be here. But if you need somebody to hold your hand, if you need somebody to tell you based on where you are right now, this is where you want to be inside the 850 Club Elite. Now, this guy right here, he said he wanted to get a high limit credit card. Okay, that was his goal. He joined the 850 Club Elite. We told him exactly what he needed to do. Now he has a high limit credit card. Okay, this other person, she said she wanted to increase her credit score. So she joined the 850 Club Elite and she increased her credit score. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Well, Calvin, you know what? Anybody can do those things. No problem. Well, if you want to go into home ownership, if you want to be a landlord, where my landlords at? Any future landlords in the chat? Where my elite at? Elite. Let them know inside the chat that this is real. Share some of your wins, Elite family. If you guys can, share some of your wins that you've gotten from the 850 Club Elite. I'm not trying to sell you all anything. I'm just letting you know that you have options. Somebody put in the chat that you have options. You have options. You say, okay, listen, I don't like the fact that my landlord keeps going up on the rent. You have options. I don't like the neighborhood I'm living in. You have options. I'm trying to look for another stream of income. So I want to get a 2-unit, a 3-unit, a 4-unit. You have options. These are some of these people right now you're looking at are landlords. They say, yes, listen, bank accounts love collecting rent versus when you pay rent. I'm not knocking rent, but I'm just simply saying that's another stream of income if you want to. I know what you guys are thinking. Well, you know what? I don't want a house, but I do want a car. Not a problem. These are people that we just helped get into cars. She joined the 850 Club Elite because she wanted to get a new car. Cars and homes are easy. Cars are easy. Your credit goals to me are easy. Okay. He wanted to grow his churro lead. He says, listen, 850 Club is real. I'm a living testimony. Let's see what somebody else is saying. They could be lying. I don't know. This other guy says low down payment because of Calvin Russell informative and productive lessons. I was able to increase my credit score and walk away with this truck and a low down payment. It was easy to get financed. My APR is only 11%. I was at the dealership for less than an hour. Thanks, 850 Club Elite. This girl right here, she wanted the Benz. We showed her how to get the Benz. This person right here, he wanted the Jeep. We showed him how to get the Jeep. This person right here wanted the big boy Murano. We showed him how to do it. No matter what your goals are, we can easily show you how to accomplish this. Okay? That's how we do this here. But here's the thing. I got something special for you guys that's watching right now. I got something special for everybody that's watching this right now. Here, I'm gonna move myself out the way. For everyone that joins the 850 Club Elite today, I got something special for you. All right, I'm gonna give you guys two gifts. Okay? So if everyone that joins the 850 Club Elite right now today, bonus gift number one, you get an invitation to my private group call. Okay? So listen, everyone doesn't get this invite. I'm going to give you guys an invitation to my private group call. This is going to be on next Wednesday. So I'm giving you some time, not to join, but some time to join today and write down all the questions you want to ask me. Now, we may not be able to get all of the questions answered next week, but on the phone, I should say, but you can put those same questions inside of the community, and people that already have the answers can get those answers along with myself, my real estate team, and my credit team as well. So if you want to talk directly to me along with the private group, listen, we can squeeze you in on next Wednesday. You got to wait. So you got to join today and write your questions down today. All right. Next is going to be the second bonus gift is something that we've never done this. We've never done this. We're going to give you full access to our credit and cash flow webinar that we did. It was really a workshop. We talked about how to increase your credit score fast. We talked about how to get high limit business credit cards and high limit credit cards in general. We also talked about how to get business funding up to $150,000. This course, the most we've ever sold this course was $1,500, okay? Because that's the value of the course. We're going to give you access to that just by joining the 850 Club Elite today. You got until midnight to join today if you want access to this. Again, never trying to sell you anything. I'm just letting you know you have options. I want to paint you into a corner where it just makes sense for you to say, hey, listen, I said I wanted to get into a house this year. It didn't happen. It's not looking good for you. I said I wanted to get a new car this year. It's not looking good for you. You didn't make it happen. I said I was going to lower my car payment. I'm still overpaying. I said I was going to get a high limit credit card. I still don't have it. See, you look at the goals you said you was going to set back in January. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that you got everything you need to make this happen, guys. I want to make sure that we got that. Okay. So either way, guys, you know what to do. If you're serious about your credit goals, join the 850 Club Elite. I just want to see who's in the comments real quick. Let's see what's going on. Listen, Cassandra's in the building. Another 850 Club Elite member making her dreams happy. Yanobi's in the building. Appreciate you being here, Yanobi. All right, Yanobi is back. She be on the lives. Okay. Booker says, I miss the first lady. I'm not sure you're talking about Booker. I gotta watch what you be talking about too. Oh, the first, I get it. Okay, he said hey to Yanobi. So what's going on, Ron? Appreciate you being here. All right, Yanobi says, can you explain the difference between a charge off and how you can go about paying it off? Okay, good. We did that. And then Cassandra said, yes. Tanya says it costs nothing to try. Y'all better call them. Nobody says he talking to me. Yeah, I'm sure I am. Dr. Adams says it costs nothing to try. She says, I can't settle 46,000. You'd be surprised. If you call them and say you got 30,000, they'll take it. Now we just got to qualify for that 30,000 or that 40,000, whatever that number is for sure. Okay, so just keep that in mind too. Lisa says it costs nothing to try. Cassandra says we have options. Renee says we have options. Richard Dunklin says, yes, sir. After my bankruptcy, chapter 13, my credit score is on the rise for 700 from a 612. I'm telling you guys, listen, we've been helping people for years. Okay. And then Cassandra says, you just got to do it. That's it. And then Darius says for free, you get access to those things, right, at no additional charge. Yes. I think you're talking about what I was talking about here. You get access to my private call. Here, let me go ahead and bring that screen up again because I'm about to wrap up. But listen, you get 2 bonus gifts. If you join today, you get 2 bonus gifts, yes, for free. Okay, these are the gifts you get. Okay, you get invitation to my private group call. I do this once a week. Okay, everybody's not invited. I want to make that clear. Everyone is not invited. We have hand selected people that we choose to be on this call so we can answer specific questions. Everybody don't get the invite, but you can get the invite. If you have questions that you want to ask me directly, then get them ready for us for next week. Okay, next Wednesday. And then, of course, we also have, you're going to get access to the credit and cash flow videos. That's a $1,500 value by itself, and you get access to that. Okay, so again, you can easily get inside of there. And so now, how do you do that? How do we make this happen? Here's what you need to do. All you need to do is just join. Come on in. Darius says he just joined in. So congratulations, Darius. Welcome to the 850 Club Elite, sir. We greatly appreciate you being a part of the family. Now, listen, Darius, joining is easy. Now we need you to get a win. We need to make sure that you tell us your goal. So as soon as you let the team know if your goal is to go into homeownership, we're gonna make sure we have you go in that right direction. If your goal is to increase your credit score, we're gonna make sure we give you that first step. Okay. If your goal is to lower your car payment, we're going to give you that first step. Okay. So again, we're not waiting on anything. I want you guys to hit the ground running today. All right. But either way, as always, I'll be back with more videos as well. And I'll see you guys in here. And again, if you guys here, let me put this QR code back up here. If you guys didn't get the free credit guide, you guys can go ahead and pause the video, scan this QR code right there. And if you guys want to get in the 850 Club Elite, go ahead and scan the QR code right there on your screen. I'll